Hey, good morning, everyone. As we move forward into 2021, we'll be resuming our monthly safety meetings via a video presentation that will be emailed out each month. The intention is to keep them at 15 minutes or less, enough time to convey the required information, yet short enough to keep you engaged without losing focus. If a topic requires more time, it will be broken up into several short videos, each being sent out weekly. The first safety meeting for 2021 is fire extinguisher inspections. Please make sure that you share and discuss this with your entire team. Following the video, inspect your fire extinguisher and make sure that it's compliant with the guidelines set forth in the video. If you have any issues, you can contact Eric at ehendricks@gsm1927.com. As always, thanks for all that you do. Be safe, and thanks for making GSM the best place to work in our region. Thanks.
Hey GSM family, this is Eric Hendricks, your new safety director. Thank you for taking a couple of minutes with me just to let me share with you some information on monthly fire extinguisher inspection. One of my favorite quotes says that fire itself is neither good nor evil. It's neutral. Its character is determined by the eye of the perceiver and the hand of the user. And basically this just indicates that fire can be both good and bad. If it's where we expect it and it's under control, it's a great thing, like a campfire or cooking a steak on the grill. But if it's somewhere where we don't intend it to be or can't control it, that's when it can become disastrous. Fire preservation or preservation of life and property has long been the cardinal mission of pretty much any fire prevention effort. And though it's often difficult to track, fire prevention is by far the most effective method of achieving this goal. Obviously, the best fire is to not have a fire at all. But fire extinguishers come into play when these fire prevention efforts either fail or don't go as we intended. And if you don't think fire prevention efforts ever fail, let me share some statistics with you from 2019. Fire departments that year across the United States responded to some 1.3 million fires. That's basically a fire call every 24 seconds. And every 65 of those seconds, that response was to some type of a structure, either a residential or a commercial structure. And property damage was around 15 billion that year. Unfortunately, on the human side, there were over 16,000 civilian fire injuries and then 3,704 fire-related deaths that year. To bring that a little closer to home, in North Carolina, we experienced 117 fire fatalities. And unfortunately, yours truly had to investigate 2 of those right here in Gaston County. And thus far this year, already, we've had 10 fire fatalities in the state of North Carolina. So in an effort to reduce those numbers, there are various governing bodies that produce documents that guide us in how we protect structures and protect areas with fire extinguishers. So they don't typically just show up on the wall. The first document here is NFPA 10. That's kind of the fire extinguisher Bible, if you will, about inspection, testing, and maintenance. Pretty much all things fire extinguisher can be found in this National Fire Protection Association document. The middle one is the North Carolina OSHA Construction Standard, 1926 standard, and there are a couple of chapters in there that deal with fire prevention and fire extinguishers and inspection of those extinguishers. The last one is the North Carolina Fire Code. Current edition is 2018, and in Chapter 9 specifically, there's a lot of material in there about fire extinguishers and when they're required, where they're required, etc. So where do we start? Where do we begin with a fire extinguisher inspection? Okay. Well, I certainly hope this is no GSM vehicle, but I'm sure it could qualify as my kid's closet every now and then. So let's find our fire extinguisher first, and then we'll go from there. So next, I want to walk you through a basic monthly fire extinguisher inspection. Number 1, is it located where it's supposed to be? Number 2, is it visible, or do I need a sign that indicates how to get to that location? Number 3, can I access it? Can I physically get to it, pick it up off the hanger, and use it if I had to? Once I get over to the hanger, I want to look at it while it's on the hanger. Is the fire extinguisher in good shape? Is it not dinged or rusted or corroded, anything like that? Is there a nice legible sticker in the front facing outward? The next thing I want to do is look at the gauge. Okay, is the gauge in good range or the operable range? If there's not a gauge there, chances are it's a non-rechargeable, so therefore there'll be some type of little push button that will typically pop back out. The next thing, I just want to look at the tamper tag. Is the tamper tag in place? This is just simply a little colored tag. Sometimes it's dated, sometimes it's not, but it's designed to hold the pull pin in place so that I don't inadvertently squeeze the handle and discharge the product. As I work my way down, you can pick the fire extinguisher up off the hanger at this point. And does it feel like it's got something in it? Okay, if not, we need to figure out why. Okay, next thing I want to do is simply turn the fire extinguisher upside down. You should feel that powder fall inside. If you don't, just bump it a couple of times and it should break free. Vibrations over time will cause that powder to settle, and that's why we fluff it. While I've got it in this position, I want to look at the nozzle, make sure there's not any dirt dauber nest, spider nest, things like that in there. Check out the nozzle as I turn it back over, and everything looks good. So I'm simply going to turn the inspection tag over and sign and date the back of the card. So let's take a peek at the actual inspection card and see what it tells us. So if you'll notice, I have several areas highlighted on this particular card. And essentially what it's telling me is this fire extinguisher is an ABC dry chemical type that was serviced in June of 2020. So therefore it's good through June of 2021. Here are close-ups of the items I mentioned previously. The orange tamper tag you can see in the background holding the pull pin in place, and then also the gauge, which you can obviously see is still in the good range there. And then ultimately, I mentioned after your inspection, you want to turn the tag over and don't forget to sign and date it. And that's pretty much it until the next month. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'll be glad to help you. Thank you and have a blessed day.